first question, ladies first, is from MIXTER at MIXTA110. I wonder if he's a rapper, because that's such a rapper name, MIXTA. Do you think he has a mixtape?
He has 110 of them.
I think he's a baker.
110 mixtapes.
Yeah,
you know what it is? It probably is mixtape, and then Twitter cut off the mixtape because there's already a mixtape.
Oh, yeah.
MIXTER, send us your mixtape. I want to hear it. Okay. He or she asks, do you reckon R2D2 and C3PO should have a more significant role in Episode 9? Even closing the movie somehow? ? Action or sacrifice? The original trilogy was mainly told from their point of view. They were quite significant in the prequels, but in the new ones, they more or less cameo. So I'm going to answer this one. It's kind of difficult because I love R2. I really do. I think he's snarky and he's hilarious and he was great in The Last Jedi. But I have to agree, they don't really seem to have a point in these movies. I'd love to see them have a bigger role in the next movie, but I'm not sure what that role would be. But yeah, I'm on board. Will they have an action? Do you think R2 will jump back in an X-Wing? Who would fly it, though? It'd have to be Rey. Because Poe has BB-8.
BB-8. I think, yeah.
That might be cool, though, if she flew it and or John flew an X-Wing.
I think the reason...
Sorry, Finn. Sorry, guys. I'm thinking about how John was working out the other day, and I'm all hot and bothered by it, so...
I thought you were talking about me flying an X-Wing. I was like, I'll
fly
an X-Wing.
No. John Boyega.
Give me $5. I'll be in Episode 9.
I don't know if anybody saw that. John Boyega put out a video of him working out with long hair. Dude's getting jacked.
No, I missed that.
Yeah, he would be cool. Finn would be cool with R2D2. I'm on board with that. What do you guys think?
They bring back Wedge, and then R2's like, well, Luke's gone, so
I knew
let's
someone
do
was
it,
going to
bro.
bring up Wedge.
No, I had to wedge him in there.
I do like the idea of Finn with R2D2 because I think that's a connection that could very well be there that we haven't seen yet of new and old.
It's going to be a few years past, and all of a sudden Finn's a good pilot now.
I mean,
you can learn a lot in 3 years.
Yeah, it depends on. I think he's going to be doing reconnaissance missions and stuff.
So the next one is from William Bence at Bence_Billy. And he asks, do you think Hux will ever find out from Rey that it was Kylo who killed Snoke? And how do you think Hux will respond to this information? Love the podcast and keep up the great work. Thanks, Bill. Ooh. Billy, William. John, what do you think?
Porg Whisperer. I don't think he finds out from Rey. I think he finds out in some other way, whether it's archive surveillance or something happens where Kylo eventually tells him. I don't think Rey telling Hux. I can't imagine there being a point in time or enough time in Episode 9 where Rey isn't even involved with Hux and has any kind of meeting to even go into that. So I'm ruling that out.
Have they ever been
completely.
In the same room?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
So yeah, he just talked about her and when he was making fun of Kylo Ren getting outwitted by a girl in The Force Awakens who was strong with the Force, or a peasant or whatever he called her. But no, I don't think they're gonna meet. So I think I'm ruling that out. But I do think he's gonna find out that Kylo Ren killed him. I know we speculated that in our Episode 9 theories. It could be from someone else in the First Order or some kind of archival surveillance. Because the Empire and the First Order film everything. They have cameras everywhere. So I'm sure there's some kind of footage from Snoke's throne room somewhere. So that's my guess. So he will find out, but not from Rey. But thanks for the question and the kind words about the podcast.
All right, so our next one is ambiguous force-sensitive being at a gray Jedi. And they ask, hey, Resistance, do you think we'll ever see the outcome of Ezra, Ahsoka, and Sabine? Would you prefer to see it as a movie or a series? And of course, we're giving this question to James, our resident Rebels-loving fan.
Resident all Star Wars matters.
No, just Rebels.
Resident Y7 TV series lover.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. 100% we're going to see this story in some form of or another. Do I prefer to see the story as a movie or a series? Typically, for me personally, my personality, I don't really care for television that much, because I feel like there's a lot of time used to tell stories that, I don't know, could have been told in quicker fashion, a lot of extra and filler. When I look back on having watched a full series, I think, wow, that was a really great story, but it becomes like incredibly not rewatchable because I'm like, that's so much time to go back and revisit those things. I enjoy having a movie version of stories better. But I do think that because we love those characters so much, that I think they would be treated the best way in a television series. But I think for me personally, I'd like to see it as a movie, but that's kind of, I mean, it's not unprecedented of Star Wars because they did a 2-hour animated movie, but I don't see them doing like a 2-hour animated movie in the near future, but I see them being like, yeah, let's do this, let's finish up the story this way or another. I don't know, maybe that's exactly it. They don't want to do another series with Ezra and Sabine and these characters, so they go, well, we'll do a 2-hour like wrap up to these characters. So that could be kind of cool. So I guess I would rather see it as a movie, but I think that it deserves the justice of seeing it done as a series. Let's put it that way. But we're definitely going to see what happens. The story is going to be told. They can't cliffhanger.
How about a streaming
much.
Service movie?
Yeah, that would be great.
Maybe.
That actually makes a lot of sense. So that could be a way that they could do it, where they don't have to like put it in a theatrical situation, but they can just release it and have it be another reason to get people to sign up for the streaming service.
Remember when everybody thought DJ was Ezra? Do you guys remember that?
Maybe, yeah, Ezra was DJ.
Everyone was like, it's Ezra. No, it's not.
So, James, what would you want if they made a Rebels movie to end the whole series? What would you want it to be called? So, I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
Yeah. So this story, you're saying, what would I want it to be called?
If it was the final telling of Rebels and they made a movie for the streaming service to end that story, like where you find out what happened to them and blah, 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 what's it called? And you can't use the word dawn or anything else trendy about that sequels are named.
Sunrise of Justice. No. I don't know. I think that making some sort of play on words of like end of rebellion or something like that could be kind of interesting. Or like some sort of like Rebels Forever or something. I don't know. Something that kind of just forever. Says like these are these stories, forever. but they're going to live on forever because their spirit is, I don't know, important to the Star Wars world or something. I don't know, some sort of indication.
Star Wars
of
Rebels
they live
Eternal or something.
Yeah, Rebel
Eternal Ezra. Ezra is eternal. Have a good summer.
Star Wars Rebels. Enjoy the lore.
Enjoy the lore.
All right.
There you go.
Final question from the real MVP, Scotty Jayro at the Scott Jayro. Scotty. Okay, and he says, what is your favorite new theme song of the sequel trilogy? You can only give one answer, James. Quickly. John, we'll start with you.
So it's theme / song. So mine is Jedi Steps at the end of The Force Awakens because it makes me tear up.
Solid. James.
Probably the Kylo Ren 4 like notes. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. I guess it's 5 notes. But yeah, that would probably be anytime they incorporate that somehow, it always gets me excited.
James, you used to be in a band. Someone said that his notes are the opposite of Rey's. Is that true?
Yeah, I think I've heard that. I don't necessarily know if that was intentional or not, because I actually think that stems from like the Reylo community looking for connections between the two. Not to say that John Williams didn't do that.
Easy, buddy.
No. I'm just saying.
Buddy.
Sometimes people find coincidence and they find relations in things that aren't necessarily supposed to be there or intentional from the get-go. I think it's kind of an interesting coincidence that could be the case, but I don't think it was like
I think John Williams planned it.
Intended that way. You do?
Yeah. I think this is one of those things that, like, yes, I completely agree with you, James, that sometimes people grasp for straws and look for different things to support their theories and their arguments and their ships or whatever. I think this is one of those things that John Williams is so good. He's so good at his job. He's the best of the best.
Or he's 85 and he's like, all right, I wrote that theme. Let's just flip that around and give the theme to the other person. Just take that track, Tommy, and flip that thing around. Hey, John Williams, out. Like
this is Star Wars.
Well,
I've written 6 Star Wars movies,
opposite,
and if there's one thing I know that fans will do, they'll write some sort of fake connection, and they'll make it think that I was genius enough to make that connection.
Right, but they're back-to-back in songs, though.
No, I think he definitely could have done that out of the whole balance thing. It's absolutely possible.
Maybe not a romantic thing, but at the same time.
No, yeah.
Anyway, my favorite is definitely Rey's theme. It's my cell phone ringtone. It's my alarm. It's basically the best song on the soundtrack.
Lacey, let me ask you this. Because when I first saw The Force Awakens, I'm like, I can't wait for John Williams' new music. And then I see her sledding down the hill, and it's like with the flute.
It's it's a xylophone.
I was like, I don't like this. But now I'm like, yeah, Rey's theme.
Can I just tell you, it wasn't even the part of her sliding down. It was when it built to her driving, and you see that shot where they do the pan from left to right with her on the speeder, and you see the crashed Imperial ship where it builds.
Yep.
That's the best song, hands down. And I like how he works it into the other songs.
And Lacey, you're right. It is xylophones. It's xylophones and flute. So they bong the bells.
part that you're talking about, though, like the ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, you're right. Right.
And the only reason I know that is because my little sister got a xylophone, and she used to play it all the time. So I know that sound in my nightmares.
In your night, you love it so much, it's in your nightmares.
No, that noise, the xylophone noise. She used to play it to like Kanye West's 808 and Heartbreaks. Oh my God. Well, anyway, those were some awesome questions. Thank you, everybody. If you want to be involved in the show, send us your questions via Twitter with hashtag AskTheResistance. I am disappointed there were no Kylo questions for me, so I'm hoping next week that will be different. John, back to you.
Yeah, Lacey, actually last week, James and I were talking about doing a whole episode on Ask the Resistance. Like, we go front to back and just answer like 20 questions or something like that.
I just got so excited because I thought you were going to say we were talking and we were going to do a whole episode on Kylo Ren.
We could probably do that too because people like Kylo Ren.
I just got so excited, and then you were like, and I was like, womp, womp.
We should do that. We should do a discussion.
Kylo Ren, a Star Wars story.
If we don't destroy each other before episode 9 comes out, we should do each week leading up to the movie coming out an episode on our Thursday discussions for each main character. I think that'd be cool. I'm talking about like Kylo, Rey, Poe, Finn, and that's pretty much it, right? Yeah, just the new main characters we have. I think we're just going with the live people who are going to be in episode 9. That's what I was thinking.
So basically Kylo Ren.
Yeah, definitely. And we can talk about how good of a pilot Finn is, all that kind of stuff.
And Kylo is.
Yeah.
Yes, Lacey, Kylo Ren will be in the movie.
Guys, I got to keep bringing him up. I got to keep the quota going. Okay, anyway, so yes, I'm on board for that. If everybody sends questions, I'm in.
All right. We'll get a campaign going. And then you'll obviously ask for all Kylo questions. But
I'll answer Rey questions too.
There you go.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching that video. And if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and head over to the full episode by clicking this box here. If you want, you can subscribe, and that way you get all the weekly news, you get our discussions, you get information on our giveaways whenever we do them. It's a good time, we promise. Thanks for watching the Resistance broadcast.